Hey, I can see you. How are you all doing?
Sad vas sve vidim, kako ste?
Are you having fun yet?
Da li se zabavljate?
Are you warm?
Je li vam toplo?
Yeah, me too.
I meni je.
That's okay though.
Ali to je dobro.
It's hotter outside than it is inside.
Vani je toplije nego tu unutra.
But I tell you, if you get your dream,
Ali kažem vam, ako imate svoj san
you get fired up in here,
i zapalite se iznutra,
you're going to build a big business.
napravit ćete veliki posao.
You got to find out the reason why you're doing this business.
Morate pronaći razloge zašto radite ovaj posao.
Oh, sure, it looks like there's a lot of money in this business.
Da, sigurno, čini se da ima puno novaca u poslu.
And let me tell you, there's a lot of money in this business.
I reći ću vam, ima ga puno.
But I've not seen too many people build a big business long term just for the money.
Ali ne znam ljude koji su napravili dobar posao na dugi rok samo zbog novaca.
When I grew up in San Diego for the first 16 years of my life,
Kako sam prvih 16 godina živio u San Diegu,
you can see lots of money.
vidite jako puno novaca.
Southern California is a very, very wealthy place.
Južna Kalifornija je jako, jako bogato mjesto.
Somebody was telling me that if you take California
Netko je rekao da ako uzmete Kaliforniju,
and just the state, only the state of California,
samo državu Kaliforniju,
and you look at California as if it was a country itself,
i da ju pogledate kao zemlju za sebe,
it would be one of the 5th largest economic places in the planet.
bila bi jedna od 5 najvećih ekonomskih država na svijetu.
That's amazing, it's huge.
To je nevjerojatno, golemo je.
So when I was a kid,
I kad sam bio dijete,
I used to go to the beach,
išao sam na plažu
and they had these cliffs along the shore.
i imali su stijene uz obalu.
And if people were really rich, they would build these multi-million-dollar homes right on the cliff.
I oni koji su bili bogati napravili su multimilijardne kuće na tim stijenama.
I mean, these are big houses, like 10, 12,000 square feet.
Velike, ogromne kuće.
The 5,000 meters, square meters.
5000 kvadratnih metara.
Huge places.
Ogromne kuće.
Now, when I grew up, we're not rich people.
Tamo gdje sam ja odrastao, mi nismo bili bogati.
So we used to look at those big, beautiful homes and kind of go, oh, yeah, they're rich people.
I gledali smo te velike kuće i mislili smo, ma da, to su oni bogati.
And then after a few years, the ocean used to hit the cliff all the time.
I nakon nekoliko godina kad je ocean prao te stijene,
And it began to wear used to take the ground out from under the houses.
i kada je vadio zemlju ispod tih kuća,
And then we would watch these big houses fall in the ocean.
i gledali smo te kuće kako padaju u ocean,
And I always remember that as a kid.
i uvijek se sjećam toga kad sam bio dijete.
Rich people's houses fall in the ocean.
Kuće bogatih ljudi jednostavno padaju u ocean.
But I thought, sure, nice house.
Prekrasna kuća.
And I used to see people always driving real nice cars.
I vidio sam da voze prekrasne aute.
It was really nice lifestyle.
Prekrasan životni stil.
And I didn't have that.
A ja to nisam imao.
And I remember as a young person thinking, I would like to live like that.
I kao mlad razmišljao sam, volio bih tako živjeti.
So I started asking anybody who could tell me, how do you live successfully?
I pitao sam ljude oko sebe kako se živi uspješno.
And I was told over and over and over by everybody that I knew,
I svi su mi ponovo i ponovo rekli, od svih koji znam,
if you want to be successful,
ako želiš biti uspješan,
get a lot of education.
uzmi puno školovanja.
At a big university would be preferable.
Bilo bi zgodno da odeš na veliki fakultet.
Then go to work for a big company.
Onda odi raditi u veliku tvrtku.
And the third thing you do is you work real hard.
I treća stvar, moraš jako puno raditi.
What do they tell people in Croatia?
Što kažu ljudima u Hrvatskoj?
How do you be successful in this country?
Kako da budete uspješni u ovoj zemlji?
Get a lot of education,
Da se školujete,
go to work for a company,
da idete raditi u
and
kompaniju
work real hard.
i da jako puno radite.
Is this right?
Jel' tako?
All over the world people are told that.
Svugdje je tako u cijelom svijetu.
Let me tell you what I have found.
Reći ću vam što sam ja saznao.
That's not true.
To nije istina.
There's lots of people with lots of education.
Ima puno ljudi sa dobrim obrazovanjem.
Lots of people work with lots of big companies.
Puno ljudi koji rade u velikim tvrtkama.
And people work real hard.
I oni koji jako puno rade.
And they're broke.
I ništa.
They're poor.
Siromašni su.
Why?
Zašto?
It's very simple.
Vrlo jednostavno.
There are two ways to make money.
Ima dva načina da zaradite novac.
One is where you work real hard.
Prvi je da puno radite.
and you've become so good at something that nobody else can do it that you're paid a very good dollar.
I da ste toliko dobri u nekom poslu kojeg nitko ne zna da dobijete dobru plaću.
When I came out of university, I was hired by Johnson & Johnson's.
Kada sam završen fakultet, uzeli su me u tvrtku Johnson & Johnson.
I became a specialist with surgical equipment.
Postao sam specijalist za kiruršku opremu.
I started off first with sutures, stitches.
Krenuo sam prvo sa šavovima.
Then I introduced stapling devices.
Zatim uređaje za...
Instead of sewing you up now, they use a staple gun.
Za pridržavanje, za skupljanje, da.
And after a while, I became a specialist in open heart surgical equipment.
I tada sam postao specijalist za otvorenu operaciju na srcu.
And here's what happened.
I evo što se dogodilo.
Because I worked so hard,
Zato što sam tako puno radio
and nobody else could do what I was doing,
i nitko nije znao raditi to kako ja to radim,
my income went up.
moj prihod je rastao.
Then after a while, that income flattened out.
I nakon nekog vremena se izravnao.
Anybody recognize that?
Da li to prepoznajete?
That's the typical way of the people who have jobs and professions.
Tipičan način za ljude koji imaju posao i profesiju.
And then what I did is I said to my boss one day,
I što sam napravio kad sam rekao
I
šefu
want to make
jednog
more
dana?
money.
Želim više zaraditi.
I want to be more successful.
Želim biti uspješniji.
I want the big house on the cliff.
Želim veliku kuću na stijeni.
I want the nice cars. I want the nice lifestyle.
Želim prekrasan auto i dobar životni stil.
I have a lot of education.
Imam puno obrazovanja.
I work for you, the big company.
Radim za vas, za veliku kompaniju.
And I'm prepared to work hard.
I spreman sam raditi još više.
Just tell me what to do to become rich.
Samo mi recite što trebam raditi da bih postao bogat.
What did they tell me?
I što su mi rekli?
Oh, you can become a specialist with more surgical devices.
Pa ti trebaš postati specijalist sa više opreme kirurške.
So I became a specialist in open heart surgical equipment.
I zato sam postao specijalist za opremu za operiranje otvorenog srca.
When they have to do a heart bypass,
Kada trebaju napraviti bypass na srcu,
all that equipment was my material.
sva instrumentarija je bila moja specijalnost.
And here's what happened to my income.
I evo što se desilo s mojim dohotkom.
Whoop, it went up real quick.
Vrlo brzo je porastao.
And then after a couple years,
I nakon nekoliko godina
it flattened out.
izravnao se.
You see,
Vidite,
I was being paid because I was good at doing something that no one else could do.
bio sam plaćen za nešto što sam dobro radio i što nitko drugi nije znao.
I'm a specialist.
Ja sam specijalist.
Now watch this.
Sad gledajte ovo.
I used to sell equipment to surgeons.
Prodavao sam opremu
Anybody
kirurzima.
here a physician, a doctor?
Ima li ovdje liječnika?
I used to sell equipment to the doctors that were also specialists.
Prodavao sam opremu liječnicima koji su također specijalisti.
And then one day I was having a lunch with another doctor.
I jednog dana ručao sam s jednim doktorom.
And we began talking not about my equipment, but about how to make money.
I nismo pričali o opremi, nego o tome kako doći do novca.
And I related to him in my frustration
I rekao sam mu svoje frustracije.
that my income went up, flattened out, went up when I became another specialist, and flattened out again.
Da se moj prihod povećavao, izravnavao kako sam postao specijalist za nešto.
He looked at me.
Pogledao me
He says, that's interesting.
i rekao, to je zanimljivo.
He says, here's what happened to me.
A evo što se meni dogodilo.
I became a young doctor.
Postao sam mlad liječnik.
When I started as a doctor, I was paid more than you were as a salesman.
Kada sam postao liječnik, bio sam plaćen više nego ti kao prodavač.
And he says, I worked and I worked and I worked for a few years.
I radio nekoliko godina.
I developed a practice where I had all these patients come to me.
Razvio sam privatnu praksu u kojoj su mi dolazili moji pacijenti.
And my income went up.
I moj dohodak se povećavao.
But I got to a point where I couldn't see any more patients and my income flattened out.
I došao sam do trenutka kad više nisam mogao imati više pacijenata i moj se prihod
So as a
sravnao.
doctor,
Dakle, kao doktor,
I said, how can I make more money?
pitao sam kako više mogu zaraditi.
And somebody said to him, you need to become a surgeon,
I netko mi je rekao, moraš biti kirurg,
a specialist.
specijalist.
So I became a heart surgeon.
I postao sam specijalist
And my
kardiokirurgije.
income went up.
I moj prihod se povećavao.
But after a while, I could only do so much heart surgery every day and my income flattened out.
I nakon nekog vremena nisam više mogao raditi operacija dnevno nego što sam radio i moj se prihod izravnao.
He says, Pat, this is interesting.
Milion pet, to je interesantno.
You have a job,
Imaš posao,
I have a profession.
ja imam profesiju.
We both have the same economic problem.
I isti ekonomski problem imamo obojica.
The only difference is I'm a little higher than you.
Jedina razlika je što sam ja malo više nego ti.
He says, Pat, how much money do you make if you don't show up and work?
Pitao me, Pet, koliko zaradiš ako se ne pojaviš na poslu?
So if I don't show up and don't work, they fire me.
A ako se ne pojavim na poslu, pa otpuste me.
He goes, that's interesting.
A rekao je, pa to ti je interesantno.
If I don't show up and go to work,
Ako se ja ne pojavim na poslu,
my patients go find another doctor.
moji pacijenti odu i potraže drugog doktora.
In a way, I'm fired just like you.
I na neki način i ja sam otpušten, kao i ti.
And we began to realize, and I realized at that point in time,
I shvatili smo i on i ja u to vrijeme
I was working in an economic system
da sam radio u ekonomskom sistemu
that had absolutely nothing to do with becoming wealthy.
koji nije imao ništa s tim da ja postanem bogat, da itko postane bogat.
And I began to look at what was happening in my career.
I gledao sam što mi se događalo u karijeri.
I noticed one thing that would happen all the time.
Primijetio sam jednu stvar koja će se stalno događati.
When I did very good at my job,
Kada sam bio dobar na poslu,
they would phone me up and say, oh, come and speak
zvali su me da dođem govoriti o tome.
to the sales manager and the vice president.
Da govorim tome predsjedniku prodaje i direktoru.
I was a very young man.
Bio sam vrlo mlad.
I would go into the manager's office.
Došao sam kod menadžera u ured.
He'd go, we like you.
On bi rekao, mi te volimo.
Good.
Ja bih rekao, dobro.
We think that you're the best guy in the company.
Mi mislimo da si najbolji čovjek u kompaniji.
And I'd think to myself,
Ja bih mislio za sebe,
they're going to give me more money.
da će mi više novaca.
So I'd say, oh, thank you. What
rekao
does
sam-
this mean that I'm the best guy in the company?
Pa hvala.
They said, we would like to make you a manager.
Rekli su mi, željeli bismo da postaneš menadžer.
Oh, okay. What do they pay the manager?
Onda sam rekao, dobro, ali koliko plaćaju menadžera?
Oh, the money's not that important.
Ma novac nije toliko bitan.
I mean, you're the manager now. You're not a salesman.
Ma da, pa ti si sad menadžer, više nisi prodavač.
And I would always think of the big house on the cliff,
A ja sam razmišljao o velikoj kući na stijeni.
the nice cars, the nice lifestyle.
Prekrasnim autu, prekrasnom stilu života.
And I'd say, well, how much money do they pay the managers, though?
I pitao sam razmišljao sam o tome koliko plaćaju menadžera.
And he'd go, oh, don't worry about that. The money will come, just be a good manager.
A oni su rekli, ma ne, pa nemoj brinuti, novac će doći, samo budi dobar menadžer.
And if you're a real good manager,
I ako ćeš biti stvarno dobar,
you'll get a chance to meet the president of the company.
ako ćeš biti stvarno dobar, imat ćeš šansu vidjeti predsjednika
And I
kompanije.
remember I did my job very well,
I kako sam ja radio svoj posao jako dobro,
and there was a period of time
i bio je jedan period
when I just looked at, it didn't matter that my income flattened out.
kada sam shvatio da nije bitno što se moj prihod izravnao.
Because one of the things I found in the corporate life
Jer sam pronašao jednu drugu stvar u korporacijskom životu.
was they kept showing me the nice things that would happen if you became successful in the corporate life.
A to je da će mi pokazati prekrasne stvari ako postanem uspješan u
They
toj
told me that
korporaciji.
if you're really good,
Ako si stvarno dobar, to su mi
you're
rekli,
going to get your own office.
imat ćeš svoj vlastiti ured.
My own office?
Rekao sam, moj ured?
How much do they pay you
Pa koliko to plaćam?
when you have your own office?
Koliko dobivam ako imam svoj ured?
Oh, the money's not that important. Don't worry about it. The money will come. Just look at you have your own office.
Ma nemoj brinuti, nije novac bitan, novac će doći, ali imaš svoj ured.
I used to think to myself,
Razmišljao sam,
I sure would like to have that nice home.
stvarno bih htio imati onu kuću.
I'd like to have those nice cars. I'd like to have that nice freedom.
Htio bih imati one aute i onu slobodu.
And they would say to me, don't worry about that.
Rekli su mi, ne brini o tome.
You can have the office.
Možeš imati ured.
And then one day they said to me, you know what?
Jednog dana su mi rekli, znaš što?
We think that you are so good,
Mislimo da si toliko dobar
we would like you to meet the president.
da mislimo da moraš upoznati predsjednika.
I thought, oh, okay.
Ja sam rekao, da, dobro.
And they said, come on, you got to go meet the president.
Rekli su, dođi da upoznaš predsjednika.
They had this big, long office.
Ima veliki, dugački ured.
And at the end of the office was this big door.
I na kraju ureda su velika vrata.
And they said, you may now go to the president.
I rekli su, možeš sada do predsjednika.
I walk in,
Ja sam hodao
and I felt like this gigantic door.
i osjećao sam da će ta
And I
velika
was this
vrata,
little guy.
a ja tako malen, i pokucao sam.
Who's there?
Ko je tamo?
I'm going home. I don't want to talk to the president.
Ja idem doma, neću pričati
He's
predsjedniku.
way too scary.
On je prestrašan.
Vice president said, you must talk to the president.
A potpredsjednik je rekao, pa moraš pričati s predsjednikom.
If you want to get your office,
Ako želiš svoj ured,
you need to talk to the president.
moraš razgovarati s predsjednikom.
So I went and I opened the door,
Zato sam išao, otvorio vrata.
and he was this little old man,
On je bio neki maleni starac.
gray,
Siv,
real funny guy.
sjed, vrlo smiješan.
He looked up at me and he says,
Pogledao me i rekao,
you're Pat McDonald.
ti si Pat McDonald.
Now, I was 26 years old.
A ja sam imao 26 godina.
I'm like, yes,
I rekao
that's
sam,
me.
da,
I'm Pat McDonald.
to sam ja sam Pat McDonald.
We hear a lot of good things about you.
Čuli smo dobre stvari o tebi.
Oh, that's really good.
To je jako lijepo.
You can be successful at this company.
Možeš biti uspješan u ovom poslu.
Oh, that's exciting. I really want to be good.
Joj, kak je to uzbudljivo.
If you work hard,
Ako dovoljno radiš,
you will get an office.
dobit ćeš ured.
Okay.
Ok,
I guess we want an office, honey.
draga, mislim da želimo ured.
And I ran home,
Otišao sam kući,
excited that I was going to get the office.
uzbuđen što ću imati ured.
And I went on and I worked and I worked and I worked
I išao sam i radio,
to get an office.
da dobijem ured.
And one day you get the office.
I kad dobijem ured,
Where's the money?
gdje je novac?
There's no money.
Nema novca.
Where's the money?
Gdje je novac?
You have an office.
Imam ured.
I said, okay, I have an office.
Rekao sam, a dobro, imam ured.
And you know what?
I znate što?
I don't really need that big house.
Uopće mi ne treba ona velika kuća.
Who'd clean it anyway?
Ma, tako bi pala u ocean.
And those fast, fancy cars, those fast cars,
I tako brzi auti,
you can hurt yourself in those.
možete se ozlijediti u njima.
Why do you need, really, when you think about it, to go to nice places?
Zašto mislite da biste trebali ići na lijepa mjesta?
So over a period of time,
I kroz neko vrijeme
I found that I no longer thought of my dream,
shvatio sam da više ne mislim da moj san,
but my job had given me their dream.
nego da imam svoj san, nego da mi je moj posao dao novi san.
And their dream was that if you work hard, you get an office.
A njihov san je bio da puno radim da dobijem ured.
And then one day they said, you know, if you work harder and harder,
Jednog dana su mi rekli, ako ću još više raditi,
we're going to let you have a plant
i dozvolit ćemo
in
ti
the office.
da imaš biljku u uredu.
A real plant. You can water it, it will grow.
Pravu biljku koja će rasti i koju ćeš moći zalijevati.
And all I remember is one day looking at that,
Jednog dana, sjećam se, gledao sam u to
I came to one of these meetings.
i došao sam na ovakav sastanak.
And some guy who I had no idea who he was
I netko koga uopće ne poznajem
started talking about the difference between Network 21
počeo pričati o razlikama između Networka 21
and a job.
i klasičnog posla.
You see, what I had been led to believe
I ono čime sam sad dao zavisti
was that this is the way it always worked.
je to da je ovo jedini način na koji se može funkcionirati.
But that is only the way that it works
Ali to je samo način koji funkcionira
for the employed
za zaposlene,
or the professional
za profesionalce
or a person that has a small little business.
i za ljude koji imaju svoj mali posao.
When I started hanging around Network 21 people,
Kada sam se počeo družiti sa ljudima iz Networka 21,
they started showing me a different concept.
pokazali su mi drugačiji koncept.
What they showed me was a concept where instead of working hard,
Pokazali su koncept u kojem uz puno truda
you work smart.
treba raditi pametno.
Instead of doing all the work yourself,
Umjesto da sve radiš sam,
duplicate.
dupliciraj.
I heard that word, duplicate.
Čuo sam tu riječ dupliciraj.
Duplicate what?
Dupliciraj što?
Duplicate knowledge.
Dupliciraj znanje.
And all of a sudden I started to realize,
I odjednom sam shvatio
instead of the income going up, flattening out,
da prihod kada raste izravna i da se prihod ravna,
another group of people were talking about how to make it grow and exponentially grow.
da druga grupa ljudi radi na tome da eksponencijalno raste.
I went to my boss at the big company.
Otišao sam šefu u velikoj kompaniji,
I said, I got a good idea.
rekao sam im, imam odličnu ideju.
Let me hire a bunch of people.
Dozvoli mi da zaposlim nekoliko ljudi,
Let me train them and let me duplicate them.
dopusti mi da ih treniram i da se dupliciraju.
And he said to me, you can't do that yet.
I rekao mi je, to još ne možeš raditi.
I said, why not?
Rekao sam, zašto ne?
It's because I'm the one who tells you when you can do this.
Rekao je, zato što ja kažem što ćeš raditi.
I said, you mean I can't duplicate when I want to?
Misliš da ne mogu duplicirati ono što ja hoću?
Can't, can you? It's
Rekao
not the
je,
way it
ne.
works in a job.
Rekao je da ne mogu, tako se to ne radi u poslu.
I found when I talked to the professional,
I pričao sam sa profesionalcem.
he says, I would love to duplicate.
Rekao je, ja bih obožavao duplicirati.
But how do you duplicate somebody with such specialized skill?
Ali kako duplicirati nekoga sa tako specijaliziranim vještinama?
If you're a dentist in here,
Ako ima stomatologa ovdje,
it's hard to duplicate dentists.
teško je duplicirati stomatologe.
If you're a brain surgeon,
Ako ste neurokirurg,
you would not want me to be a brain surgeon.
ne biste željeli da sam ja neurokirurg.
There, your brain's okay. Shut up, get out.
Mozak je dobro, šuti, doviđenja.
I would not be any good at it.
Ne bih bio dobar u tome.
So what I found was there's two different systems.
Saznao sam da postoje dva različita sustava.
If you learn these different systems,
Ako ih naučite,
this business is perfect.
ovaj posao je savršen.
Because what it allows you to do is to get into the other system.
Dozvoljava vam da uđete u drugi sustav.
And here's the different systems.
Ovdje je drugačiji sustav.
There's a guy that does a tape.
Čovjek
Talks about the left side and the right side of the economic equation.
koji na kazeti priča o lijevoj i desnoj strani ekonomije.
The left side
Lijeva strana
is the employed people,
su zaposleni
or the professional,
ili profesionalci
or the self-employed small business person.
ili samo zaposleni privatnici.
The principle of how they make money
Princip kako rade novac
is you work for time.
Jedan.
You work for time.
da radiš za vrijeme. Princip
You go to work,
ideš na posao,
you make money.
zaradiš novac.
No work,
Nema posla,
no money.
nema novaca.
You work for time.
Radiš za vrijeme.
In the medical business, as a supply salesman, I would make so much money.
I kao prodavač medicinske opreme zaradio bih toliko novaca,
If I was a surgeon, I'd make 10 times as much.
a da sam bio kirurg zaradio bi 10 puta više.
But both of us only made money if we worked.
Ali oboje zarađuje samo toliko.
On the right side of the equation,
Na desnoj strani jednadžbe
you have the business system person.
imaš osobu koja je u poslovnom sustavu.
In North America, the business system is mostly known as franchising.
U Sjevernoj Americi franšizirane je najobičajniji sustav.
Now, there's two kinds of people that own a franchise.
Ima dvije vrste ljudi u tom poslu.
One kind of person is the guy who owns the franchise and makes hamburgers. McDonald's.
Jedna vrsta ljudi je ona koja ima franšizu i radi hamburgere, McDonald's, dakle licenca.
That person is on the left side of the equation still.
A ta osoba je još uvijek na ljevoj strani jednadžbe.
The person on the right-hand side of that equation
A ona na desnoj strani
is the owner of the franchises,
je vlasnik te licence.
called a franchisor.
Ko se zove franšiza?
There's a huge difference.
Velika je razlika.
You own a McDonald's,
Imate McDonald's,
you get to make hamburgers.
radite hamburgere.
You own McDonald's franchises,
Imate licencu McDonald'sa,
you sell the franchise.
prodajete licencu.
Watch this, real important. Somebody said to me one time,
Netko mi jednom rekao,
how do I know if I'm a small business person
kako znam da li sam mali poslovan čovjek
or if I own a system?
ili da li posjedujem sustav?
Here's how it's best described.
Evo kako je najjednostavnije opisati.
If you're a business person here
Ako ste vi poslovni ljudi ovdje
and you want to figure out if you're a business system or just an independent businessman or
i
woman,
želite saznati da li ste u nekakvom sistemu poslovnom ili ste neovisni,
here's the acid test.
evo brzog testa.
Walk away from your business for 1 year.
Otiđete iz svog posla na 1 godinu.
No phone calls,
Bez razgovora.
no meeting with your staff,
Bez susreta sa vašim osobljem.
no meeting with your customers.
Bez susreta sa klijentima.
You just walk away from your business for 1 year.
Samo otiđete iz posla na 1 godinu.
And then you come back to your business 1 year later.
I vratite se u posao nakon te 1 godine.
And if your business is not bigger,
I ako vaš posao nije veći,
more profitable
profitabilniji,
than the day that you left it 1 year before,
nego na dan kad ste otišli prije godinu dana,
then all you have
onda sve što imate
is a small independent business.
je mali neovisan posao.
But if you can walk away from your business for 1 year,
Ali ako možete otići na godinu dana
and you walk back in 1 year later after doing nothing with it for a year,
i vratite se nakon godinu dana i niste u tom periodu ništa radili,
and it's bigger,
i veći je,
more profitable,
profitabilniji posao,
bigger numbers,
veći brojevi,
then you have a system.
tada imate sustav.
And if you're in Network 21,
I ako ste u Networku 21,
if you do not understand this concept,
ako ne razumijete taj koncept,
you can still be an independent business owner who is on the left side.
još uvijek možete biti neovisan poslovan čovjek koji je na ljevoj strani jednadžbe,
Those of us that are on the right-hand side
a oni drugi su na desnoj strani.
understand systems.
I oni razumiju sistem.
I don't look at an audio tape.
Ne gledam na audio kazetu kao na kazetu.
A cassette to me is a tool that multiplies my time.
Kazeta je ona koja duplicira moje vrijeme.
I don't look at a book
Ne gledam knjigu
as something to just read.
kao nešto što se samo čita.
I look at a book as a tool that duplicates my knowledge into other people of experiences I've never even had myself.
Ta knjiga je duplikacija znanja o iskustvima koje ni sam nikad nisam imao.
And if you understand what you're in here right now,
I ako razumijete u čemu ste sada ovdje,
I'm not here just in Zagreb today.
nisam samo danas ovdje u Zagrebu,
Today I'm in Malaysia.
danas sam u Maleziji,
No, you're not. You're in Zagreb.
makar sam u Zagrebu,
No, my system is in Malaysia today.
ali moj sustav je u Maleziji.
Ovdje strana A završava. Molimo, okrenite kazetu.
Saturday,
Danas je subota,
A weekend seminar just started in Malaysia today.
I vikend seminar je počeo u Maleziji baš danas.
My Malaysian organization, my Philippine organization, and my Hong Kong organization is at a meeting that I am not at.
Dakle, moja organizacija u Maleziji, Filipinima i dobro je sada tamo umjesto mene.
You can be in Network 21 and you can be in systems all around the world.
Možete biti u Networku 21 i biti u sistemu svugdje u svijetu.
Because a business system
Jer je poslovni sistem,
multiplies
on se multiplicira.
your time.
On multiplicira vaše vrijeme.
And difference between the left and the right
I razlika između lijeve i desne strane
is the left-hand side of jobs, professions, and small independent businesses
je to da lijeva strana profesionalaca i zaposlenih
is that you work for time.
i vas je to da vi radite za vrijeme.
But when you get to the right-hand side,
Pardon, to je za lijevu stranu, oni rade za vrijeme. A
And
kada
you have a
pređete na
business
desnu
system working for you.
i kad imate sistem koji radi za vas,
time works for you.
vrijeme radi za vas.
24 hours a day.
24 sata na dan.
A money-making machine.
Mašina koja radi novac.
Whether you ever show up again or not,
Da li se ikada više pojavili ili ne,
it's making money for you.
to radi novac za vas.
Which do you want?
Što želite?
Pretty simple, isn't it?
Vrlo jednostavno, zar ne?
But you need to understand how to make this system work.
Ali morate znati kako
You need to
pokrenuti sistem.
understand that you need to get to the right-hand side of the equation.
Morate prijeći na desnu stranu jednadžbe.
From your business systems,
Iz svog poslovnog sustava
you make good money.
radite dobar novac, stvarate
You
dobar
live
novac.
with the money, you buy nice houses and nice things.
I sa novcem kupujete lijepe kuće, lijepe stvari
And then the last you can do is move into investing.
i zadnje što možete napraviti je investirati.
Start making your money work for you.
Radite to da vaš novac radi novi novac.
But Network 21 has a special offer that I don't think too many other businesses provide.
Ali Network 21 ima posebnu ponudu koju ne mogu ponuditi drugi
There are
poslovni.
lots of business systems that you can get into.
Ima puno poslovnih sistema u koje možete ući.
And when you're talking to your friends and you're trying to convince your friends that this is a good business for them to be part of,
I kada pričate svojim prijateljima i želite ih uvjeriti da je ovo stvarno dobar sustav u koji trebaju ući,
they may not receive you with open arms.
oni vas možda ne primaju otvorenih ruku.
But always remember,
Ali uvijek zapamtite.
the single biggest advantage of Network 21
Najveća prednost Network 21
is that you can do this system
je to da možete raditi ovaj sistem
while you keep your existing job.
dok zadržavate svoj stalni posao.
I've not seen any other system in the planet that I've ever seen
Nisam vidio ni jedan takav sustav koji sam susreo,
that allows you to do both.
koji bi vam dozvolio da radite jedno i drugo.
It's very difficult to have something where you can stay on the left and stay on the right.
Vrlo je teško stati jednom nogom na
very
lijevoj
difficult to do
strani,
that.
a jednom na desnoj. Jako teško.
And Network 21 allows you to do that.
A Network 21 vam dozvoljava da to radite.
But you have to know how it works.
Ali morate znati kako radi.
You have to understand the concept of Network 21.
Moramo razumjeti koncepte Networka 21.
And one of the things that I found when I first came to this business
I jedna od stvari koje sam otkrio kada sam ušao u taj
is
posao,
they kept telling me that I had to be able to understand the business.
rekli su mi da bih trebao razumjeti taj posao.
So let me draw out for you the real basics of this.
I nacrtat ću vam osnove ovoga.
For those of you that are relatively new to the business, trying to figure out what this is all about.
Za vas nove koji ste relativno novi i koji pokušavate shvatiti o čemu se
It's
radi.
actually quite simple.
Vrlo je jednostavno.
There are 3 parts to this business.
3 dijela, ovaj posao ima 3 dijela.
And all you have to know how to do is to access each of these 3 parts.
I jedino što morate znati je pristupiti svim tim dijelovima.
The first part of this business is the manufactured products and services.
Prvi dio posla su produkti.
The second part of this business is Network 21.
Drugi dio Network 21.
The third part of this business is your line of sponsorship.
I treći dio je vaša linija sponzorstva.
Those really are the only 3 pieces in this thing.
Samo su 3 stvari u
The
cijeloj priči.
manufacturers provide product and services.
Proizvođači osiguravaju proizvode i usluge.
We use Amway Corporation.
Amway korporacija.
People say, why do you use them? Why don't you use somebody else?
Ljudi pitaju zašto Amway, zašto ne nešto drugo.
Do you know what? There's lots of other companies that will come and go.
Ima puno drugih tvrtki koje dođu i odu.
This business is new to Croatia.
Ovaj posao je nov u Hrvatskoj,
This concept is very old to Canada.
a koncept je vrlo star u Kanadi.
In the last 20 years,
I u zadnjih 20 godina
in North America,
Sjeverna-
there has been over 2,500 network marketing businesses come and go.
u Sjevernoj Americi bilo je preko 2500 network poslova koji su dolazili i odlazili.
It's unbelievable. It's like every day there's some new deal.
To je nevjerojatno, kao da svaki dan dođe neki novi posao.
And as we begin to grow and succeed in Croatia,
I kako posao raste u Hrvatskoj,
these things will show up here too.
i te će se stvari pojavljivati i ovdje.
There'll be herbal products, there'll be cosmetic products, there'll be financial products.
Biće biljni proizvodi, proizvodi, financijski ustupci, kozmetika.
Some of them will be pyramids.
Neki od njih će biti piramide.
But one of the reasons why we use Amway Corporation,
Ali jedan od razloga zašto koristimo N21 korporaciju,
they've been around for 40 years.
jer su ovdje već 40 godina.
How many of you are younger than 40 years old? How many of you run for it?
Koliko vas je mlađe 40, mahnite.
It's been around longer than you. Look at both of you.
Duže od vas postoji,
You're doing okay.
a vama dobro ide.
This has been around for a long time.
On je dakle prisutan jako dugo.
They're financially stable.
Financijski su stabilni,
They got good products and services.
imaju odlične proizvode i usluge,
They give you a good guarantee.
daju vam dobru garanciju
And here's the best part.
i najbolji dio,
They let you be in business.
dozvoljavaju vam da budete u poslu.
Johnson & Johnson has good products.
Johnson je imao dobre proizvode.
Procter & Gamble has good products.
Procter & Gamble ima odlične proizvode.
I even see that we've got Beverly Clark here from the United States as paper towels.
Dakle,
They make good products.
Beverly Clark koji proizvodi papirnate ručnike, imate ih ovdje, oni rade dobre proizvode.
But you can't be in business with them.
Ali s njima ne možete biti u
It's
poslu.
not available to you.
To vam nije na raspolaganju.
Amway Corporation was set up 40 years ago as a business to allow you to be in business for yourself, and they would supply you products and services.
AMV već dugo postoji i dozvoljava vam da budete dio njega i da se koristite njegovim proizvodima i uslugama.
Understand that and be proud of it.
I ja sam zbog toga jako ponosan.
Because I tell you, it's a big company.
To je jako velika kompanija.
It's on the cutting edge of everything you can think of.
To je na rubu svega što možete zamisliti.
But the one thing that they cannot do
Ali jedino što ne mogu napraviti,
is they can't teach you business.
ne mogu vas naučiti poslu.
They only know how to teach you sales of products and services.
I jedino što vas mogu naučiti je kako da koristite i prodajete njihove proizvode i usluge.
They don't understand that you have dreams and goals. That's not their business.
Ne razumiju da vi imate snove i ciljeve, pa to nije njihov posao.
They understand it,
Ne razumiju to,
but they can't do anything about it.
ali ne mogu ništa poduzeti.
Because if you ask them, how do I sponsor and fill up a stadium like this?
I da ih pitate kako da sponzoriram puni ovakav stadion.
All they can teach you is,
Jedino što vas mogu naučiti je
here's our product,
ovdje je naš proizvod
here's the features and the benefits of our product.
i ovdje su prednosti našeg
But they don't know
produkta.
how to teach you how to solve an economic problem.
Ali ne znaju riješiti vaš ekonomski problem.
And that's where Network 21 comes in.
I tu ulazi Network 21.
Network 21, through the leadership of Jim and Nancy Dornan,
Kroz leadership Jima i Nancy Dornana,
they recognized a long time ago.
oni su to prepoznali jako davno.
Wait a minute, people that fill up stadiums like this,
Ljudi koji pune ovakve dvorane,
they don't want to know how to sell the features and benefits of a product.
ne zanimaju ih prednosti proizvoda.
These are people that want to be business people. They want dreams and their goals met.
To su ljudi koji žele susresti vaše snove i ciljeve,
But they don't know how to do it.
ali ne znaju kako to raditi.
They don't have the knowledge.
Nemate znanje,
They don't have the skills to be in business.
nemate vještine.
And we can develop that. We can make the tools, the tapes, the books, and the meetings for people.
A mi možemo napraviti preko networka sastanke, kazete i knjige.
I want you to think about this.
Razmislite o tome.
We walked in here today.
Mi dođemo danas ovdje,
We fill up a stadium.
napunimo dvoranu,
Not we, but the leadership here in
Leadership,
Slovenia, now Croatia.
leadershipu u Hrvatskoj i Sloveniji,
And all we had to do was walk around with a ticket.
a jedino što trebate raditi je hodati okolo sa kartom.
Buy a ticket, buy a ticket, buy a ticket.
Kupi kartu, kupi kartu.
Who put this here?
Ko je to ovo stavio tu?
Who made this?
Ko je ovo napravio?
Who got that guy in a camera?
Ko je ovog stavio za kameru?
Who got these lights up here?
Ko je napravio ova svjetla?
Did you do this?
Jeste vi to napravili?
None of us did that, did we?
Nitko od nas to nije napravio.
We come, we walk into a meeting, yay,
Mi
music,
dođemo.
boom, boom.
Dođemo i plešemo i vičemo
And we've done absolutely nothing
i nismo napravili apsolutno ništa,
but sold a ticket.
nego prodali kartu.
Who did this?
Tko je to napravio?
Well, in Slovenia and Croatia, the two Sashas,
Hrvatska i Slovenija
Network 21 staff.
ima osoblje Network 21.
These are people who've put together an organizational structure for you and I
Oni su organizirali ovu strukturu za vas i mene.
so that all we have to do is run around and sell a ticket.
Jedino što trebamo je ići okolo i prodati kartu.
Let me tell you something, folks.
Da vam nešto kažem.
If you're a business person,
Ako ste poslovan čovjek,
that about make you want to fall on the floor.
oborit će vas nogu.
Think about it.
Razmislite o tome.
I'm not in Malaysia today,
Nisam danas u Maleziji,
but my people are at a function in Malaysia,
ali moji ljudi funkcioniraju u Maleziji.
and I've done absolutely nothing.
I nisam napravio
To set it up.
apsolutno ništa da budem tamo.
I just sold a ticket.
Samo sam prodao karte.
Network 21 and the people they have put together
Network 21 i ljude koje je skupio
is absolutely incredible.
I apsolutno
Don't ever forget that.
nevjerojatno, nemojte to zaboraviti.
As Diamond directs in Network 21,
Kao dijamant u Network 21,
living in North America,
živi u Sjevernoj Americi,
you begin to start to realize the significance of a Jim and Nancy Dornan.
počnete razmišljati o značenju, o bitnoći Jima i Nancy Dornan.
What would happen if they never wanted to build the big systems?
Što bi se desilo da nikad nisu željeli napraviti ovaj sistem?
You and I are going to do that?
Vi i ja ćemo to napraviti.
Go for it.
Samo krenite.
Oh, look at my big office.
O, gledaj veliki moj
my
ured.
big plant.
I moja biljka.
You try to build that?
Pokušavate to sagraditi?
You just bought yourself a career.
Kupili ste si karijeru.
Good luck.
Sretno.
I want nothing to do with that.
Ne želim ništa imati s tim.
And that's why I appreciate what Network 21 does.
I zato cijenim ono što Network
They
21
get
napravio.
people to work and work their brains out, and it's wonderful, and I appreciate that. I don't want that. I got out of that.
Objašnjava ljudima i uči ih kako da rade. Ja to ne želim, ja sam iz toga izašao.
My sanguine. All I want
Moj
to do is
sangvinik.
open up the window.
Sve što želim je otvoriti
And
prozor.
there's Hawaii.
I tamo su Havaj.
Open up the window.
I otvorim drugi.
There's Zagreb.
I tamo je Zagreb.
Open up the window.
I opet otvorim prozor.
It's Zurich.
I Cirih.
Open up the window.
I otvorim
It's
prozor.
Manila.
I Manila.
That's all I want to do.
To je sve što želim
I
raditi.
don't want a speaker
Ne želim
or a television
zvučnik ni
or a
televizor.
little camera. I don't want that.
Ni malu kameru, ništa ne želim od toga.
I want freedom.
Želim slobodu.
And Network 21 said you can get that.
I Network 21 kaže da to možete dobiti.
So they do their job. They both do their job.
I jedni i drugi rade svoj posao.
But you know what?
Ali znate što?
You need to have somebody
Morate imati nekoga
to teach you how to use the systems.
da vas nauči kako koristiti
And
sistem.
that person is called a line of sponsor.
I te osobe se zovu
And
linija
I don't know
sponzorstva.
who your line of sponsorship is.
Ne znam koja je vaša linija
But
sponzorstva.
if you're brand new here
Ali ako ste potpuno novi
and you don't even know what the word line of sponsor means
i
yet,
ne znate ni što znači ta riječ,
you need to grab the person who sold you the ticket
zgrabite osobu koja vam je prodala kartu
and just say to them, are you my line of sponsor?
i reci mu, jesi ti moja linija sponzora?
So what I would expect after this meeting is for those of you that are brand new,
I što očekujemo od vas koji ste potpuno novi?
be all running around like, where's my sponsor?
Da svi vičete, gdje je moj sponzor?
Are you my sponsor?
Jesi ti moj sponzor?
Are you my sponsor?
Jesi ti?
You need to look like little chickens looking for your mother.
Trebate izgledati kao mali pilići koji traže mamu.
Because that line of sponsorship was the only person who's going to teach you how to do this.
Jer po toj liniji sponzorstva ćete dobiti znanje kako raditi ovaj posao.
And then the rest of it from there, folks,
I što još ima?
it's just work.
To jednostavno radi.
You need to understand this business is very simple.
Morate razumjeti da je posao jako jednostavan.
I like to relate it that to me it's like a big bucket.
Prema meni je kao velika košara.
My job is not to make people do this business.
Moj posao je
My job is to teach them how to look at the business.
da naučim ljude kako da gledaju taj posao.
And if you understand anything that we're telling you,
I ako razumijete bilo što vam pričam,
this business is very simple.
taj posao je jako jednostavan.
There's only 3 things that happen.
3 stvari se dogode.
You take somebody and you put them in the business and you show them the business.
I jednom čovjeku pokažete posao, on uđe u posao.
And then what happens is they have 3 things they can do.
I 3 stvari mogu napraviti.
They either can say to you, no,
Mogu vam reći ne,
I want nothing to do with this.
ne želim ništa s tim.
Or they can say, yes,
Mogu reći da,
I would like to join you.
želio bih ti se pridružiti.
Or they could say to you, well, no, I don't want to join, but yes, I will buy the products.
Ili vam mogu reći ne želim se pridružiti, ali bih htio probati proizvode.
That's the only thing they can do.
To je jedino što mogu napraviti.
And if you're new here, your job is very simple.
Ako ste novi ovdje, vaš posao je vrlo jednostavan.
Yes, you want to go diamond.
Da, želite postati dijamant.
Of course you want to find 6 major leaders.
Naravno da želite naći 6 ljudi,
But
6
in
lidera.
order to get the 6 major leaders,
Ali da biste ih našli,
you got to put people in the bucket.
morate ljude stavljati u košaricu.
You got to show them how it works.
Morate im pokazati kako to radi.
And what will happen is they will tell you what they want to do.
I što se dogodi, oni će vam reći što žele raditi.
You know what I find about the people that go direct?
Znate što mislim o ljudima koji postanu direkti?
They find you.
Pronađu vas.
You don't necessarily find them.
Vi ih ne morate pronaći.
They show up,
Pojave se,
they get in your face,
uđu vam u
and they
lice
won't go away.
i ne žele otići.
You could be the next diamond and you're sitting right back up there in the very top.
Možete biti dijamant i sjediti skroz
You
gore do
could be
zada
the
na
next
vrhu.
diamond sitting right here.
Ili ovdje naprijed.
We have no idea how to tell.
Nemamo pojma kako bi to
I would
objasnili.
love to sit there and say to you, I can figure out who they are.
Ja bih volio reći, ma znam ko će da
No,
biti.
I'm a diamond, I can find a diamond.
Ma ja sam dijamant, ja mogu naći
You know
dijamanta.
what? You can't do that.
Ne može se to.
One of the first things that you're going to hear us talk about when you build this business is you need to become a core member.
Prvo što ćete čuti kad uđete u posao je to da morate biti core osoba.
Everything starts with core.
Sve počinje sa korom.
The whole system begins with core.
Cijeli sistem počiva na koru.
Let me tell you why.
A reći ću vam zašto.
When we walk into a meeting like this,
Kada dođemo na ovakav sastanak,
if I'm sitting in Edmonton or I'm in Calgary or I'm wherever and I walk into a meeting like this,
gdje god sam u kojem dijelu svijeta i sjedim na ovakvom sastanku,
I can't tell you who is a IBO, a distributor,
ne mogu vam reći ko je distributer,
and who's a guest.
a ko je gost.
I can tell in the front rows
Mogu reći za prve redove,
because they have little signs on their seats.
jer imaju znakove na sjedalima.
But once you get past the silvers,
Ali kad prođete silvere,
back in there,
odozada,
all up here,
gore,
I can't tell.
nemam pojma.
You see, if you come to about 3 of these meetings,
Ako dođete na 3 ovakva sastanka,
the music's the same.
muzika je ista.
You learn how to clap.
Naučite pljeskati.
I thought that was the weirdest thing.
Zato ovo sam mislio da je najčudnija stvar.
I said, what is that?
Pitao sam koji je to vrag.
It's a cult.
To je kult.
Yeah, but they're doing it all the time.
Ali to stalno rade.
Go Diamond, you learn how to say that real quick.
Go Diamonds, to ste vrlo
I'm
brzo
fired
naučili.
up.
Zapaljen sam.
You can do it.
Ti to možeš.
Up your PV. You learn all the expressions of Network 21.
Čuli ste sve izraze Networka 21.
And you sound no different than a diamond.
I ne zvučite drugačije nego dijamant.
So how do we tell if you're really going to do it or not?
I kako da znamo da li ćete to stvarno napraviti ili ne?
Here's what we tell you.
Evo što vam kažemo.
Get out of the crowd.
Izađi iz gužve.
Get out of being like everybody else.
Izađi iz toga da budeš kao svi drugi.
Get up on this stage.
Popni se na ovu pozornicu.
Go core.
Postani kor.
That's all you got to do.
To je sve što morate napraviti.
And what is it like the first time you go across stage?
I prvi put kada prelazite pozornicu,
New core.
novi kor.
It's the funniest thing. We sit there in the meeting room. We're sitting there back there watching, right? I said this. I said, look at these new people. They're like,
To je najsmiješnija stvar. Gledali smo to dozada i
scared. Their faces. You could see it in their faces.
I vidjeli
Then
smo
after you
ljudi-
go core,
ljudi su preplašeni. I kada postanete kor,
you get to be a 15 planner.
dođete na 15%,
Silver eagle.
srebrni orao,
A little bit more confident.
malo više samopouzdanja.
Then one day you become successful and you go leader club.
I uđete u Leader Club, postanete uspješniji.
Huh? You watch that.
A, ste skužili?
And all of a sudden you become an executive leader club.
I postanete
Only thing different is now, as an executive leader club, you have people in the meeting that are probably leader club. So you have to show them how to be leaders.
Imate ljude ovdje u dvorani, morate im pokazati kakvi su lideri.
And you go across stage a little different.
I malo drugačije hodate preko pozornice.
Right?
Jel
Trying to
tako?
motivate your group.
Morate motivirati grupu.
We can watch this. And then one day you become successful and you got a few leader club and a few executive leader club and they bring you across stage and you're now a new direct distributor.
I kada postanete
Alrighty, how you
uspješni,
doing? Right on.
postanete direktni distributer.
We can watch every phase of the business.
Možemo gledati sve faze posla.
It's too fun. It's great to watch that.
Baš je zabavno je to gledati.
But you see, what you got to get used to in this business
Ali ono na što se morate naviknuti,
is you got to get used to the recognition here.
morate se naviknuti na priznanja.
Because that's what pulls people out of there
Jer to će izvući ljudi od tamo
and it gets you up out of the crowd.
i izvući vas iz gužve.
I didn't understand that for a long time.
To nisam dugo razumio.
See, I was told in my big corporate career,
Bio sam naučen u svojoj korporacijskoj karijeri.
you want the office.
Želiš ured?
After a while I said, I don't want an office.
Nakon nekog vremena sam rekao, ne želim ured.
First time I came to one of these meetings,
Prvi put kad sam došao na ovakav sastanak,
they did this recognition thing.
napravili su to sa priznanjima.
I thought that was kind of weird.
Bilo mi je malo čudno.
I want to show you something.
Želim vam nešto pokazati.
I remember when I first succeeded in the medical business.
Prvi put kada sam uspio u ovom poslu sa opremom,
I did a real big job and I became the president award man.
napravio sam veliki posao i postao sam predsjednik.
Went to Toronto,
U Toronto sam išao.
big celebration.
Veliko slavlje
And all the people in the company were there, all the sales people.
i svi prodavači iz kompanije su bili tamo.
But differently than here,
Ali različito od ovoga ovdje,
in that situation,
u toj situaciji,
if I became the company president man,
da sam postao predsjednik kompanije,
you didn't.
a ti nisi.
I got it?
Ja sam uspio,
None of you else got
nitko od vas
it. I got
nije.
it.
Ja sam uspio.
I'm the man this year.
Ja sam čovjek godine.
So this is what the applause would sound like.
Tako je zvučao, ovako je zvučao aplauz.
Boring.
dosadno.
And then I went to a Network 21 meeting.
I na Networku 21, na
And
sastanku.
when they introduced somebody as new direct distributor,
I kad su nekog najavili kao novog DD-a,
what did you do?
što ste napravili?
Office,
Ured,
Diamond Club.
Dijamant klub.
And I began to realize,
I počeo sam shvaćati.
I like this.
Ovo mi se sviđa.
It's a little warmer,
Malo je toplije,
but it's a lot more fun.
ali puno zabavnije.
So I just said to my sponsor, how do I get to this bigger meeting?
I onda sam pitao sponzora kako da dođem do tog većeg sastanka.
And my sponsor said, Pat,
I on mi je rekao, Pet,
treat this business
tretiraj
like
ovaj posao
you're just a processor.
kao da si jednostavno procesor.
I said, what do you mean by that?
Što si time mislio reći?
He says, tell you what you do.
Gledaj što ćeš raditi.
He says, it's real simple.
Vrlo je jednostavno.
You make a list of potential people,
Napraviš listu ljudi,
you approach them to look at the business,
pozoveš ih da pogledaju posao
and you take that person and throw them in the bucket.
i tu osobu baciš u košaricu.
I said, what happens in the bucket?
A što se događa u košarici, pitao sam.
Oh, he says, in the bucket, he says, they show the plan to them.
On kaže u tamo kažeš
You
plan,
get together and you follow up and do questions and answers.
napraviš follow-up sa pitanjima i odgovorima,
You have them come to an open or a BBS.
dođu na Open ili na BBS,
And he says, you then stand back
a ti samo staneš sa strane
and you let them come out and make up their mind.
i pustiš ih da prođu i naprave odluku.
I said, wow, that's pretty simple.
Rekao sam, pa to je jednostavno.
He said, yeah, it's a big bucket.
To je kao velika kanta.
And your job is to take people
I tvoj posao je
and throw them in the bucket.
da ljude bacaš u tu kantu.
And they get in the bucket,
I kad padnu u kantu,
they get all turned up,
zavrtiš ih
and there's 3 little holes in the bucket.
i ima 3 rupe na
One
kantu.
little hole, they join you.
Jedna
One
rupa
little
koja,
hole, they just want to buy products.
jedna grupa koja ti se pridružuje, jedna koja
And
kupuje
one little
proizvode.
hole, no, forget it, I hate you.
I kroz
They
jednu
don't want to
rupu
do it.
padaju oni koji ne žele
And you
prihvatiti.
take these people,
Uzmeš te ljude,
throw them up, and throw them up, throw them up, throw them
I
up,
bacaš
throw
ih,
them up,
bacaš.
throw them up, 15 times, throw them
15
up, throw
puta.
them up, and then you stand in the bucket.
i stojiš sa
And here
kantom.
comes one, he goes, boom.
I uhvatiš
He
jednu,
wants to do it.
On to želi
Yay!
raditi,
Come
je.
over here, we're going to help you go online. That's
pomoći će ti audio
And then
tamo.
comes another one, he goes, boom.
Pada drugi,
What do you want to do?
što želiš?
I just want to buy products.
Samo
Ooh,
produkte.
okay. Come over here.
Dobro,
We'll take
tu-
care of you and sit down.
tu ćemo
And
te
then comes
paziti.
here comes another one, and you
I sljedeći, aha,
nothing. And you take more, throw them up, boom, go here, boom, you go, woo, and you get a whole bunch. And
cijela
then after
hrpa.
you get too many, you just kind of
Kad ih je
get out
previše.
of here. And that's the business.
I to je posao.
This is not a hard business.
To nije težak posao.
You know what most people do?
Znate što većina ljudi radi?
Here's what most people do.
Evo ono što većina radi.
Throw them in, throw them in,
Baca,
throw them in,
baca,
throw
baca.
them in, throw them in. And they kind of go, oh, the guy, poof, I don't want to do it. I don't like it. Why? What's wrong? You should do it. You
Ne
should
želim
do it.
raditi. Zašto? Pa daj, pa radi.
And he goes, poof, poof, poof.
A ovi koji trebaju padaju.
You need to do this business. Poof. What's wrong with you people? You're letting your good ones die. trying to
Propuštate
do
dobre
that.
da umru.
Get them out of here. That's nutty. Get these guys. You need to get this guy. You betcha. If they don't want to do it,
Ako ne žele raditi,
that's okay.
to je u redu.
Take care of this person.
Pobrinite se za
Take care
osobu
of this
ovu
person.
i ovu ovdje.
This is your story.
Ovo je vaša priča.
These are the people that won't do it.
To su ljudi koji ne žele
These are the
raditi.
people that tell you it isn't going to work.
To su ljudi koji kažu da to ne valja.
But if you spend a minute of your time trying to convert that person,
Ali ako
convince
samo
them,
minutu pokušavate preobratiti
forget
osobu,
them. Deal with those who want to do it.
bavite se ovima.
And then spend the rest of your time with your leadership.
I ostatak vremena budite sa leadershipom i fu.
Get them in the bucket.
Bacite u kantu
Keep doing it until they come out. Go diamond.
i budete dijamanti.